Part 111. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Jong Word. Chapter 1101. Chapter 1101 Sober. Good idea, really good idea. I really didn't expect that my son would have such a vision, but being able to ask this question means that you have already got the answer. Lu Jing's eyes suddenly turned gray. But Lu Jing still couldn't help but said, "Dad, why do you say that? What if I have some ability? You really make me doubt whether I am your child. You are a little bit like this, unacceptable. I have suspected this problem for a long time, haha, every time I get an answer I don't want to get, who am I going to ask for explanation?" Lu Jing. Lu Jing's face was not good. But this time you have really made progress. Your vision is finally normal, but normal is normal, but the person you like is really a bit impossible. Which parent doesn't like their child? Don't take your children as pride. Father Lu didn't want to admit it. But, it's true. Lu Jing also knew this, so he sighed deeply. I also know this. I really feel like a toad eating swan meat now, and my conditions are not good. Sun Ying'er and Sunian, I have never seen women who are better than them. I can really say that they are better than the men outside. Well, even if I don't have a chance, then I think I always have to give it a try. As the saying goes, what if I really get Sun Ying'er's favor, what if? Father Lu now really understands the meaning of the saying, whoever you play with will become the person you become. He is really awesome. Father Lu felt that he really needed to thank Sun Ying'er and Sunian. If it were not for the two of them, then I don't know what my son would be like. Even he felt that Sunian and Sun Ying'er were the great benefactors of their family, absolute benefactors. But at this moment, Lu Jing thought of what Li Baikan said. Okay, although it seems a bit nonsense. But it is actually somewhat useful. Immediately I thought of going to find Lan Min myself. You need to take good care of this. If you really get things done, let Sun Ying'er and Sunian see what you are capable of. Lu Jing's eyes completely lit up when he thought about the initialization here. Seeing Lu Jing's eyes so bright, Father Lu always felt a little bad, so Father Lu coughed a few times. I think if you are really sincere, then you should be more steady, a little more steady, you don't mess around. If you really mess around, it will be bad. But when Lu Jing heard this, he snorted coldly, "What do you mean by that? Dad, you are my biological father. If you say this, it's true. If you don't believe what I say, then who else will? I. As a father, I think you really need to support me unconditionally. Although the truth is this, can you be a little more truthful? You and Miss Sun are really a bit like a toad eating swan meat. You are my son, how could I not know your temperament, but, this is really a bit no. When I liked Lan Min before, you disliked Lan Min, but now." This time Lu Jing was interrupted before he could finish his words. Ahem, cough, don't say that. This time is obviously different from last time. Last time I thought Lan Min was not good, but this time I am very obviously I know you too well. Hey, son, why don't you give up? Why should you give up? I will prove it to you this time and prove my ability. End of this chapter. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Jong Word. Chapter 1102. Chapter 1102 Josu silently reduces his sense of presence. In the past few days, Lu Jing went to the place where Lan Min was imprisoned every day. Walking around like this, it's as if he cares about Lan Ren. Soon the news that Lu Jing cared about Lan Min spread throughout the city. Many people even lamented that this Lu Jing is really serious about relationships. But seriousness is one thing, but more of a joke. Joke Lan Xin's attitude towards Lu Jing. She has never promised him all these years, and she is still pregnant with Huo Linyuan's child. To act like this, isn't it just a simple mistake? Everyone is curious about what the scene will be like. There is no movement from either Sunian or Huo Linyuan now. Sunian listened to Josu's report and said, "Did you really not find anything different?" Josu thought about it carefully, but finally shook his head. This is really a bit abnormal. Now that Lan Min has been in prison, and there are rumors that she is not in good spirits recently, my idea is that Huo Linyuan is just waiting for something to happen to Lan Min. After all, Lan Min is still pregnant with Huo Linyuan's child. If something happens to the child in her belly, Huo Linyuan can use this as an excuse to cause trouble for us, Josu couldn't help but say. But Sunian shook his head. Impossible, impossible. Even though the plot no longer follows the original plot, this world is also a novel world. It is impossible for the male protagonist to do this to the female protagonist. It is absolutely impossible. Why exactly, why? Sunian's heart became more and more confused. Okay, stop thinking so wildly. Li Baikan walked to Sunian at this time, hugged Sunian, and comforted him in a low voice. It's useless for you to think so wildly, and it's possible that you're already very worried. Simple things are just made complicated by you. Sunian looked at Li Baikan when he heard this. Li Baikan smiled. Don't forget, the current situation is not disadvantageous to us at all, so no matter what happens, we have nothing to lose. The people who are anxious now are not us, but others, so we are now being anxious is probably making others anxious. Sunian gradually calmed down after listening to Li Baikan's words. Yes, it's Huo Linyuan's woman who's in there now, and it's not my woman in there, so why should I be anxious? And if I'm so anxious, if this guy Huo Linyuan finds out, he'll definitely laugh at himself. It must be stabilized now. After hearing Sunian's thoughts, Li Baikan smiled. This is how it should be. My baby is the best and the most powerful. Everything is in the palm of your hand and under your control. Excuse me, so don't think too much about Huo Linyuan. Yes, Huo Linyuan is nothing at all. Huo Linyuan is not worthy of being your opponent, wife. Josu agreed at this time. But just as Josu finished speaking, Li Baikan's eyes fell on him. Josu. Now Li Baikan really feels that Josu's eyesight is getting worse and worse. As a husband who coaxes his wife, what is he getting involved in? And Josu also realized what he had done. Just bowed his head silently. Silently begin to reduce one's sense of existence. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Jong Word. Chapter 1103. Chapter 1103. Luo Qian's meaning. Inside the prison. Lan Min couldn't sit still when he saw Luo Qian being let go. Hatch the railing tightly. Luo Qian, where are you going? Where are you going? Luo Qian arranged his sleeves. Where else can I go? Of course I want to go out. What is my identity? How can I be here all the time? Of course I want to go out. When talking about this, Luo Qian sneered. He shouted, although Sunian kept saying how powerful she was, she still didn't let me out obediently. I thought this Sunian was really capable, but it turned out that with such ability, it was really a joke, ha ha ha, a complete joke. Luo Qian's face was really as arrogant as he wanted to be at this moment. But such an arrogant expression was in sharp contrast to Lan Min's bloodless face. Lan Min was calm before because Luo Qian was beside him. No matter what the so-called crime was, Luo Qian was locked in the prison next to him. This made Lan Min, who was a little scared at first, feel a little relieved after seeing this. After all, the presence of Luo Qian shows that no matter what kind of charges he is accused of, they are all false and are just a trap set up by Huo Linyuan. But, Lan Min is really a little uneasy now. What about me, what should I do? Luo Qian walked up to Lan Min and said, what can you do? Don't you believe Mr. Huo? Just stay in there, but I still think it's necessary to remind you that you'd better stay in there, don't cause any trouble, it will be bad for both you and Mr. Huo. For Luo Qian, this Lan Min is nothing at all. And he even felt that if the chess piece Lan Min was really abandoned, then the whole situation would really be a bit better. At least better than now. Lan Shi, I know you are a smart woman. If you were not smart, you would not stay with Mr. Huo for so long, so you should know that no matter what Mr. Huo does, it will always be because of Huo Xiao. What you have to do is follow what young Master Huo wants. Lan Min's face became more and more ugly when he heard these words. What does it mean? Why do you feel like you have to abandon yourself? No, it's impossible. I am still pregnant with a child, and I am still pregnant with Huo Linyuan's child. For the sake of the child, Huo Linyuan will not do anything to me. Thinking of this, a smile appeared on Lan Min's face. I know this, but you also know that I have children. This place is really not suitable for the growth of children, so can you. But when Luo Qian heard this, a disdainful smile appeared on his face. As for children, if men of their status want children, no matter how many or whatever they want, it can be said that they are as much as they want. It is nothing at all. When Lan Min saw Luo Qian's expression, he became even more anxious. Master Luo, what do you mean? What is your expression? What do you mean? I don't mean anything, I just think you should be smarter. After all, children are not an important thing at some point. After all, there are countless women who have given birth to children for Mr. Huo, and Mr. Huo also has a child, the child in your belly, it's not his first child, and Mr. Huo has no sense of expectation. Lan Min's heart became more and more anxious with these words. No, it's not what you said, it's really not what you said, Luo Qian. But Luo Qian interrupted her directly. Lan Shi, if you are a smart woman, then you must understand that you must use this opportunity to become the most important woman around Mr. Huo and let Mr. Huo know your value. End of this chapter. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Zhang Word. Chapter 1104. Chapter 1104 Huo Linyuan's meaning. These words really made Lan Min's face freeze up. Value. Value. Don't you really want to be Mrs. Huo, the woman that the matchmaker is marrying? Do you really want to hide in the dark all your life, and you and your children will be criticized all your life? No, Linyuan said he loves me, he only loves me in his life, so. Luo Qian really had a headache regarding these words. This is a Lanzi. It's really a bit too stupid. It's really too stupid. But you can guarantee that Mr. Huo will love you for the rest of his life, or do you really want to see Mr. Huo with other women? No matter what Mr. Huo does to you, but you have no legal status, that's how you are, your child will be like this, can you really bear it? These words really made Lan Min's whole face change. Lan Jian doesn't want to. When Luo Qian saw Lan Min like this, he knew that he had listened to what he said, and then he said, Lan Min, you must realize your value now. You must let everyone know that it is the one who is most suitable for Mr. Huo, so that you can gain a firm foothold. How should I do? Luo Qian smiled, it depends on you. You are a smart woman. You know what to do yourself. What I want to tell you is that opportunities wait for no one. If you really miss the opportunity, then. When Luo Qian said this, he felt that he had said everything he needed to say. So he turned around and left. When Luo Qian came out, he saw Huo Linyuan, who had been waiting for a long time. When he saw Huo Linyuan, Luo Qian smiled, Huo Xiao, I really didn't expect that you would come to pick me up in person. You really make me a little excited now. What did you say to Lan Yan? Huo Linyuan's words made Luo Qian's face change. He was not surprised at all that Huo Linyuan knew what he had said to Lan Min, but he was afraid that Huo Linyuan would not understand why he thought so. So I quickly said, Master Huo, I know what you want to say, but you have to know that I am doing this for your own good. Since you chose to push Lan Min out, then you let Lan Min be responsible for it. After all, in this case, Lan Min's move will become meaningful. And Lan Min is really just a woman, everything is lacking in this world, but women sometimes we men should give up something for the sake of the overall situation, really. When Luo Qian said these words, Huo Linyuan said nothing. This made Luo Qian increasingly anxious. Worried about Huo Linyuan's attitude. Is it really because of a woman that their relationship will change? It's good that you did this, and I hope you will do more so that there can be more of this kind of thing. Luo Qian subconsciously breathed a sigh of relief when he heard this. Then he looked at Huo Linyuan. The meaning of this word. Huo Linyuan reached out and patted Luo Qian on the shoulder. Luo Qian, you are a smart person. Since you are a smart person, you should do what smart people should do. Luo Qian thought about this. He had said similar words to Lan Min just now. I didn't expect that such a short while would pass, and I didn't expect that I would hear someone say something to me. This thing is really a bit funny to say. But Luo Qian knew very well that Huo Linyuan's intention was good for him, so he laughed. End of this chapter. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Which John Word. Chapter 1105. Chapter 1105, To Gloat Over Misfortune. Next. Everyone looked at Lan Min. Watching Lan Min being tried. There are no problems at every stage. This made Sunian and Sun Ying'er really more and more curious. What does Huo Linyuan really want to do? As soon as the two of them got together, they planned to visit the prison. Sunian thinks her character is a vicious female supporting character. If the vicious female supporting character doesn't do something at this time, then she really can't afford the title of this vicious female supporting character. And Sunian also feels that being in this novel world is also beneficial. If it were the socialist world she lived in before, how could this? It is really good to have money. Hey, isn't this Lan Min? Isn't this Lan Min who has 3 companies and 2 families in his hands? Why is he like this now? Lan Zhen raised his head directly when he heard the sound. When he saw Sunian, his emotions suddenly rose. Why are you here? Why are you here? Why are you here? You speak. Sunian did not expect that Lan Min would be so excited, but she still said with a smile, why can't I come? In this world, as long as I want to come, there is no place where I can't come. Is there any problem? You. And what's the matter? Don't forget my identity. If I can't even do this, then my identity will be in vain. Lan Zhi can endure anything, but not this. Can't see Sunian. Sunian, are you very happy now? Let me tell you, this is all temporary. This is the case for the time being. If you are gloating about your misfortune now, then if I am unhappy now, if our positions are reversed, will you let me go? You will. You are the kindest woman in the world. Now that you have become the kindest woman in the world, woman, if I continue to be kind, won't I steal your limelight? How can I steal your limelight? That would be bad. These words really made Lan Min's mood become worse and worse. You %. What's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? Do you want to say that I went too far? I don't know how many things I've done to you that I've done too much to you. Now just say a few words and it's too much. How do you think about it? The endurance is really a bit overwhelming. Sun Ying'er next to her laughed directly when she heard this. Sunian put his eyes on Sun Ying'er's face. Sister, you are my sister and one of the people who know me best. Do you think I am going too far now? Sun Ying-er never thought that Sunian was going too far, so she shook her head. How could that be? How could I think that you are going too far? In my heart, Nian Nian is the best, and everything Nian Nian does is good. Sunian originally just talked casually and believed that Sun Ying-er could cooperate with her. But she saw tenderness in Sun Ying-er's eyes at this moment. Like the whisper of the breeze. Sunian laughed. Sunian's mood gets better with Sun Ying-er. Seeing the two of them showing such deep love as sisters, Lan Zhen's eyes were filled with hatred. Do you think this is interesting? Very interesting, and very interesting, Sunian replied directly. Lan Min's face suddenly turned bad. Sunian even felt that if there was any powder on Lan Min's face, it would definitely fall down like crazy. Lan Min covered his stomach. I know, you just want to harm my child, you want to harm my child, you. Don't talk nonsense. What's the point of harming your child? Your child is not my man's. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Jong Word. Chapter 1106. Chapter 1106, Casual Pressure. I have absolutely no reason to harm your child, unless I am that kind of crazy person. No, if I am really that kind of crazy person, then I shouldn't just attack your child, I should attack you as a whole. People start. Let you know what life is worse than death. When Sunian said this, his expression completely changed. Become sharp and unfathomable. Such an expression really makes Lan Min feel scared. That kind of chill is really indescribable in words. But at this moment, Sunian suddenly laughed. But don't worry, I'm just here to gloat. By the way, how is the child in your belly? If I guessed correctly, what you did before, it's all about the child in your belly, and you want your child to have a name. Now, you are about to be charged with a crime. If your child is born in this, do you think your child will be able to hold his head up? Sunian, you think I don't know what you want to say and what you want to know from me. I still hope you can give up your idea, because anyone can get information from me, but you can't. But Sunian laughed when he heard this, and approached Lan Min. What do you mean by this? What do you mean it is impossible for me alone? Do you know that anything you say now is a warning to others? I prompt. Only I can't. It's proof that you should have what I want here. It's proof that Huo Linyuan made a promise to you when you came in. Let me guess what promise it was. Sunian's eyes wandered over Lan Min. This is really hard to guess. After all, Huo Linyuan is not as stupid as you. He doesn't have brain problems like you. What's the use of laughing at me? Sunian continued to think about himself and said, but your thoughts are very easy to guess. For example, in your case, what you do is to hope that your child will have a good reputation and be able to appear in all the places in people's eyes. He is an upright child. It's really touching. Mothers can do a lot of things for their children. I think you can move mothers all over the country with it anyway. I was very moved when I heard it. Sunian's words hit Lan Min's heart word by word. Lan Min began to panic. Why is this Sunian so good at judging people? Why does it feel like I'm exposing my entire being in front of Sunian? This feeling is really a bit uncomfortable. But after all, Lan Min has been dealing with Sunian for such a long time. She knows that at this time, she must be stable. If you cannot stabilize it, you will lose. Sunian, do you really think I don't know that you are attacking my spirit right now and want to make me have a mental breakdown? Do you really think you can succeed so easily? Sunian raised his eyebrows when he heard this. Isn't it easy for me to succeed? Then why are you shaking? Are you cold? After saying that, he looked to the side and said, The air conditioning system here should be very good. After all, this place is the territory of the government. If the system here is not installed well, it will be very important. Sun Ying-er watched from the side. Now she feels more and more that her sister is powerful. Looks very casual. But he inadvertently exerted so-called psychological pressure on Lan Min. End of this chapter. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Jong Word. Chapter 1107. Chapter 1107. Lan Min was actually sentenced. Sometimes, a direct insult simply doesn't beat a roundabout way. It gives people the impression that all your actions are a joke. No matter what your behavior is. It's all within my control. For people like Lan Min, there is no so-called city government at all, and they are simply hit one by one. But Sun Ying-er didn't just stand beside Sunian when he was busy. Instead, look at your surroundings. She and Sunian were so grand. Did Huo Linyuan really not take any action? If there is really no action, then this matter is really a bit. Sunian, you are just born well, what do you have? Yes, you have said this many times. I just want to ask you, what is the use of what you said before? It is useless. If it is useless, then why do you say it? Lan Min's spirit is really getting worse and worse. Sunian laughed at the same time. Do you know what you mean? You are just asking for humiliation. Ha ha ha, you are asking for humiliation. Is it interesting to you? Do you think it is interesting? If it's not interesting, then why do you still do this? I really don't know what you are thinking. What are you thinking in your mind, and why after so many times, your brain still has no memory? Lan Min's mood is really getting worse and worse. Then she grabbed the railing tightly and said, Sunian, you will not die well. Sunian didn't expect her to be so crazy, and really felt a bit boring. You just lost control like this, do you think it's really okay? Sunian, you will not die well. Hey, what's the use of this? If your curse is useful, then I won't be standing here. Hey, you'd better tell me something practical. Tell me something practical. How do you want to deal with me? I'll do it now. Stand here, do whatever you want to do with me. Lan Min looked at Sunian. Then he fainted. That's right, he just fainted. Sunian. That's it, let's play. What other option was there? Sunian could only take Sun Ying-er and leave. Wait until we got outside. Sun Ying-er, while you were talking to Lan Min, the camera turned, but I don't know if there was anyone on this camera. No matter who it is, it doesn't mean anything. Sun Ying-er is a little confused. We are here just to teach people a lesson. In fact, there is really no need to be so serious. When we come here, this scene is enough. Whether this Lan Min is valuable depends on how Huo Linyuan wants to play it, he said here. When Sunian said this, Sunian smiled. You have to know that this Lan Min still has Huo Linyuan's child in his belly. How should the scene play out? This depends on the other person's ability. Anyway, Sunian felt that he had almost done everything he had done. That's it anyway. Sunian thought that Huo Linyuan would do something this time they came, but in the end there was no so-called movement, no movement at all. This makes Sunian and Sun Ying-er a little curious. I wonder what Huo Linyuan is thinking in his heart. Why is this happening? But the more this happened, Sunian felt that he needed to be more careful. If he was not careful, problems would easily occur. Then the sentencing began. He was sentenced to 10 years. And she gave birth to her child in prison even before she could be released on bail pending trial. Sunian really felt that the game was a bit big this time. End of this chapter. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Jong Word. Chapter 1108. Chapter 1108 Everything has God's will. When the verdict was handed down, Lan Min still didn't believe it. But as time passes slowly, my belly is getting bigger and bigger. Huo Linyuan did not move. This made Lan Min's mood worse and worse. Let me out quickly, I don't want to be here, I don't want to be here, let me out. But no one paid attention to her. Lan Min is really panicking now. Why has it taken so long? When the person who delivered the meal arrived, Lan Min rushed directly to the person. Where's Lin Yuan? Where did Lin Yuan go? Can you find Lin Yuan? I really don't want to stay here. Please, can you find Lin Yuan? If you can find Lin Yuan, then I will give you anything, I really am willing to give it to you. But the person who delivered the food had an indifferent expression. Did you hear it? Did you hear it? I want Lin Yuan. Let me tell you that I am Lin Yuan's most beloved woman, and Lin Yuan loves me the most. Lin Yuan said that he will only have me in his heart. I am really the only one in my heart, no matter what I want, Lin Yuan will give it to me. Ms. Lan, calm down, you still have a child in your belly, you have to take care of the child in your belly. If you don't take care of the child in your belly, then you will have no future. When Lan Min heard this, tears came down. I have a child, yes, I still have a child, I really have a child, can you tell Lin Yuan that I don't want our child here? But the person who delivered the meal left without looking back. Leave Lan Min alone. What else can Lan Min do now? He can only wait. Lin Yuan said. Lin Yuan said that she was his favorite person. Lin Yuan would never give up on her like this. Lin Yuan definitely won't. Yes, Lin Yuan will never do it. Woo woo woo. Lan Min rolled up his success into a ball. In addition, Sunian was silent for a long time after getting the news. She really didn't expect that Huo Lin Yuan really gave up. Moreover, just give up when you say give up. Don't talk about that at all. Such a situation. Sun Ying'er saw something was wrong with Sunian's state, so she walked to her and hugged Sunian. Actually, don't think too much. You really don't think too much. In fact, I have never thought about this man Huo Lin Yuan. What's so good, and why do you have so many feelings? It's obviously me who has so many feelings. After all, I didn't have good eyesight before, so I fell in love with this man. It's not because you have bad eyesight that you fell in love with such a man. And to put it bluntly, you must not let your Li Baikan see you like this. If your Li Baikan knows about it, then he may really be jealous. If he is really jealous, then you are doomed. It's nothing, I just sigh a little bit about life, and lament that this life is ridiculous. Things in this world are always so chaotic, always so ridiculous, and unpredictable. Sun Ying'er now really feels that her sister is a bit too kind. After all, Lan Min treated her like that, but when Sunian heard about Lan Min's scene, she was still a little embarrassed. But she smiled. Nian, I believe that there is God's will somewhere. All we need to do is to quietly follow our God's will. What we need to do is to maintain our original intention. Stay true to your original intention, God's will come from somewhere. Sunian felt a little calmer after hearing this. There are some, and there is God's will in them. Without God's will, it would be impossible for you to be reborn. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Jong Word. Chapter 1109. Chapter 1109 Calligraphy is Salvation. Mother. Mother. At this moment, a childish voice sounded. This voice really made Sunian's whole body clear. Immediately he looked in the direction of the sound. Then I saw Mo Bao's well-behaved look. After seeing Mo Bao's little face, Sunian's whole body became energetic. Sun Ying'er also felt this, and immediately let go of Sunian, then walked to Mo Bao, and then picked up Mo Bao. Mo Bao, come and see your mother is very unhappy now, you still take good care of it. Mo Bao was actually playing beside me all the time. Of course I know why my mother is so unhappy. At this time, of course, I came by myself. Why is mom unhappy? Mom, I am here, and Mo Bao is always here. If mom is unhappy, Mo Bao won't be happy either. Mo Bao pouted his little mouth when he said this. Sunian's mood immediately improved. Mo Bao, mom is very happy, mom is really happy. But these words did not calm down Mo Bao's little mouth, but continued, you lied to others, and my mother lied to others again, and my mother was just unhappy, woo woo woo, how could my mother lie to Mo Bao, my mother is really a bit too bad. No, really not, mom didn't lie to you, how could she lie to you, mom likes Mo Bao the most, how could she lie to you? Mom, you should make me laugh now. Hearing this, the corners of Sunian's mouth began to rise. But even so, Mo Bao still pouted his little mouth. Mom, has anyone ever said that your smile now is so fake? Who do you think I am? You are obviously trying to coax me. Humph, you are really a bit too fake, damn it. Mo Bao put his little hands in his hands as he spoke. Hands across the chest. Looking arrogant. Sunian really didn't expect that Mo Bao would do this to him. Not to mention, it was really fun for little Mo Bao to look so arrogant. Sunian really wants to laugh now. But Mo Bao looks like this, it's obvious that he can't laugh. If he really laughed out loud, then Mo Bao wouldn't know how angry he would be. Just coax him quickly. But after coaxing and coaxing, Mo Bao suddenly put his arms around Sunian's neck. Mom, I really hope you can be happy. You can be happy forever. Mo Bao likes mom to laugh. I hope mom you can smile forever. I hope to see a sad expression on your face, mom. I hope you can be happy forever. These words really made Sunian not know what to say. She hugged Mo Bao tightly. Mo Bao, don't worry, I am very happy. My mother lives a happy life every day. In fact, with Mo Bao by my side, accompanying me, I am the most beautiful person in the world. Happiness, the happiest person. This reminded Sunian of the days when he and Mo Bao relied on each other in his previous life. If there was no calligraphy treasure in the previous life, then Sunian felt that he might not be able to hold on. It really feels like. When thinking of this, some pictures appeared in Sunian's mind. He couldn't help but hug Mo Bao tightly. I'm really happy, my mood is really okay. Mom, Mo Bao is better than dad, so don't worry about the future. You just need to wait until Mo Bao grows up, and then live happily. Don't worry too much. Well, mom knows, thank you Mo Bao, you are really mom's little baby. End of this chapter. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Jong Word. Chapter 1110. Chapter 1110 Mo Bao, if Dad and I fall into the water, who do you choose? Tell me, Mother, am I the person you love most and care about most in this world? The person you love most in this world is me. Of course, if it wasn't you, how could it be someone else? But after Sunian said this, Mo Bao was still dissatisfied and continued, what about Dad? Do you love Dad? What does this have to do with each other, what is the connection? Yes, Mom, you can't say that the person you love most in this world is me, better than Dad. If there is a place in your heart, then I must be better than Dad, and more important. Now that Mo Bao has said so, what else can Sunian do? He can only say helplessly, yes, Mo Bao, you are right. You are more important than your father. You are the most important. Mom is the most important person in my life. If Dad and I fall into the water, who should you choose? Sunian. Is this child a little over the top? But why do I suddenly feel a little chilly? Why is it so cold? Seeing that Sunian didn't say anything immediately, Mo Bao became anxious. Mom, you are really going too far. You dare to deceive a child. You are really going too far. If you continue like this, then I was really angry. Seeing Mo Bao pouting his little mouth as if he was about to get angry, what else could Sunian do, but he could only quickly say, of course, do you still need to answer this question? Of course I am saving you, but Mo Bao is my responsibility, my baby, the biggest baby in my life. No matter what happens, the most important thing to me is the safety of Mo Bao. Sunian's eyes immediately became firm when he said this. Such a look in his eyes really moved Mo Bao. Mo Bao couldn't help but think of what happened in his previous life. Indeed, no matter what happened, her mother would stand in front of her and protect her with her body. This is a sure thing. Just when Sunian was about to continue coaxing Mo Bao, someone walked up to her and put his arm around her waist. Said in a curious tone, "What's wrong? What happened to you to make you so lively?" "It's nothing, it's just that Mo Bao got a little angry. I'm coaxing Mo Bao now." "You're having a tantrum? How could it be possible? Isn't Mo Bao the most obedient? Why is he having a tantrum? Let me take a look." And Daddy will take a look. Then he reached out and picked up Mo Bao. The reason why Mo Bao said what he just said was because he saw his father beside him, and he wanted to make his father angry. Let someone know who my mother likes and cares about the most in this world. This is good. But when he saw his father with a smile on his face, Mo Bao suddenly had a bad feeling and immediately wanted to break away. "What's the matter? Why do you look a little uncomfortable, Mo Bao? If you feel uncomfortable in any way, then tell your father and he will definitely help you." But these words really made Mo Bao feel a little scared. Under such circumstances, this father must have some bad plans. Who is Mo Bao? He is the smartest person in the world. How could he not even know this? I don't know what will happen if I follow this dad now. End of this chapter.